Sunday. We're in the backyard of me. And we're doing part of a segment which we're calling A Father's Legacy. And we'll caption on tape because otherwise we have to fill out all the pages of this book here. And go ahead. Now just tell us your name. A lot of stuff I'm going to know, but just pretend I don't know it for purposes of putting it on tape.
What's your name? Is Philip Burnell Curls, and since the birth of the son by the same name, I am therefore known as Senior.
Okay.
Born in April the 2nd, 1942.
Where are you born?
I don't know. I think Old General.
In Kansas City?
Negro General, I think. I ain't for sure.
In Kansas City?
Right.
I was born by the river in a little tent. Oh, and just like the river, I've been running ever since. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes, it will.
Where'd your name Philip come from? Do you know?
Mm-mm.
Where'd the name Burnell come from?
Nope. I don't know the origin of any part of it.
You never asked your mother or father?
I guess, no, I didn't ask about Burnell. I mean, that's something interesting that I did not. I just took the name for granted.
Okay. Now you live in Kansas City, right?
Right.
And that's pretty much where you want to live, right?
Well, yes.
Why is that?
Because that's where I've been living. And, at the advanced age that I am now, if there be any economic opportunities, they will be greater there than elsewhere.
Okay. So you're motivated to stay there by?
Economics, really that primarily, and now the political career of my wife, which necessitates her to be a resident of the district from which she represents.
Okay. And what was your mother's full name?
Velma Edith Curls.
You know where her name came from?
Mm-mm.
And your father?
Fred A. And I ain't even sure what A stands for. Alfred, Albert.
Aaron? Is it Aaron? Fred? No. I don't know either.
Will be 81 a week from today. A week from Friday.
Okay. Well, who were his parents?
Eula and James Riley Curls. What's his name, James?
Yeah. Okay. What do you remember? You remember anything about James? I mean, as a kid, for example.
I remember going out to his house in California, which was at the base of a mountain. I had no earlier recollection of him. He was very old and I was very young.
What's the earliest recollection you have of anything? I mean, how old can you remember back to?
The earliest recollection that I have is playing in what would be the sidewalk. I guess it was actually playing in the street with a toy.
And where was it?
On 2103 25th.
Is that where you grew up?
Yes. Grew up in a house that, as I look at it right now, was probably 600 square feet. And it was about 8 of us in there.
Who were the 8?
There was Grandma Eula, who lived in one room, and then there was cousin Ira, who lived in one room, and then there was, well, of course, cousin Ira. Okay, that was when we first started living there. It was Grandma Eula in one room, then Mama was in one room, and 3 of us must have been distributed around the living room on a pull-out sofa and a pull-out chair, because we had a tenant whose name was Fop. So it was all 5 of us, Fop, which was 6, and Grandma, that was 7. It was very interesting to think in terms.
You had a tenant for 600 square feet?
Yeah, one room.
Why? Because it was too expensive?
I don't know. I mean, I was, we were just there. And then, it was,
Tell me about it.
it was interesting that we always was there. Grandma was the matriarch of the whole house. I mean, she was it. Everything really kind of revolved through her. Not only us in Kansas City, but after we left, then another family came and started living with her, who was her brother's children. But she lived there, and we stayed with her.
What do you remember of your grandmother, Grandma Eula?
Yeah.
What do you remember about her?
Well, just that. I mean, that she was the matriarch of the family. She was the head person. Everybody. She seemed to be the central provider.
Grandma, come on, look at the camera. Come on, look at the camera. Look at the camera, say hi.
Well, hello there. How are you?
I'm fine, how are you?
I'm about as well as old folks can be.
Okay, that's very good.
Well, thank you.
Grandma. Grandma.
What?
Come me, baby. Hey, sweetie. There's Grandma. And there's Blackness. Oh, there's Kelly. Ah, there we go. There's Kelly. Oh, everyone's shy now. And there's Grandma on the couch doing her Vanity Fair pose. Oh, do it to me, Granny. Play with the hair a little bit, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, oh, my goodness.
Yeah, my sweetheart.
Okay, give her a kiss. Now say yeah, Grandma. Thank you. Grandma shows her reading abilities. And she's reading the whole family a bedtime story. What is she reading about?
Only I'm reading to myself.
Look up.
Yeah.
And you don't know who's who as you're coming along, but you come find out later that Grandma was not Mama's mama. But it was an in-law situation that they were staying there together. That Daddy was kind of a gadfly about town.
Well, tell me about your earliest memories of your daddy.
But that was it. I mean, all of the early years were sort of in that house with Mama and Grandma on 2105, and Daddy would periodically visit. frequent that he really appeared very much as a stranger. You know, that my earliest real recollection of him was about when I'm 17, 18 years old. Before that, he was really just a person that was around town that had a lot of signs that kids in early years think that all of that equates to a lot of money. Because you see these signs around, you think that the person with all those signs owns all those properties. But actually, you're just acting as an agent. But you know, I always say he came back at probably the most productive time in terms of all of us. Mike, you just don't know. It's been very interesting to try to determine what that time of fatherless gap actually did or did not do.
And what do you think it did?
I don't know. I always think that it was for the best. I think that sometimes the anxiety or the anxious attitudes from which he sort of come from would have created more disruption than, but you don't know.
You wrapped in the mic.
I'm wrapped in my mic.
That is a collage of Mike over the many 40 years that he's been here. And we show several pictures of him during his development stage. There's one special picture on there, I believe, that I always have liked. He weighed about 110 pounds. So, Mike, I know how you always want to get a family history. We just thought we'd present a little bit of your history to you. So, that's from us to you. As you know, Carla was the lead in putting it together. Everybody give Carla a hand.
Jordan was very quick.
I want to thank everyone that came to this birthday party because it means a lot to us and we really love our daddy. So why don't you give a great big hand for our daddy?
Was the household, that being you and grandma and your siblings, was it a pleasant place? Was it a tense place?
Oh, no, absolutely. It was, grandma, we were all little happy children running through there. We were all just, grandma was just most pleasant person. There would be some tension, when Daddy would come through. I always remember that one time when he came through, he was disciplining me, and I couldn't even understand nothing in relations to what he was saying or from what perspective he was coming from. Of course, all these things I've shared with him. I think I'm probably the only child that truly has shared most of those feelings of earlier life with him.
How do you think it affected the other siblings? Tell us about your siblings that you grew up with.
Well, the siblings were Millicent. Millicent was the lead girl. My recollection of her sort of stops really at her death. Of course, we were all full adults, but she was a very little person, but she always seemed to me very big because she was very strong.
Strong-willed?
Strong-willed, very strong-willed, very, just a person that, was moving and doing. I mean, it wasn't somebody. She had her first child when she was 15. I used to think that that's when you had children at age 15. I really did. I mean, when I was 16, I thought that I had truly missed because I didn't have any children. It was just kind of interesting in terms of my thoughts at the time because Mama had her children when she was 15 and 16, early age, and Millicent had hers at 15 and 16, and all the kids in the neighborhood. I mean, that just seemed to be a very common thing. I thought that's, I really thought that's how it was supposed to be in the social set. But she was very strong-willed. Coming back from that to go on and become a practical nurse, to go on and really pursue college, and was just in pursuit of her degree when she died from cancer. But she was probably the strongest projecting of the children.
Here's Uncle Darwin. Some of his family famous. Can't say they're world famous, but they're great.
Barbecue.
Barbecue. And it's Fred. Don't let the pink shirt fool you. He's all man there. Those aren't little hearts on there, are they? Oh, okay, you're all right.
Hey, Daddy.
The daddy-o, rib in tow. It's like Grizzly Adams.
The lady who said, he's mighty fine. He's mighty fine.
Can we get some ribs in the house so we can eat?
And this is Aunt Sandy. She's running she's smiling. Oh, I think it was a smile. Ward and Sandy. How you doing, Daddy?
All right, is he?
Holding down. How you doing, Daddy?
Okay, right.
Yeah, I do kind of look like brothers. You and Daddy over here.
I appreciate the compliment. An old man trying to stick around.
Stick around, old man. You're doing a fine job.
And then there's Mike. Mike has always been smiley, dapper Dan. I mean, he is exactly today like he's always been, Mr. Promoter. I mean, and he was explosive. I mean, I remember.
When you say explosive, you mean volatile?
Volatile, just like he is now. I mean, not violent, but volatile. I remember something, I can't remember, but I was chasing him down the street with a chain over some shit. I can't remember what. But, yeah, he was very volatile. And our relationships sort of continues today. I mean, Darwin, we've always played games together. I mean, Darwin and I probably were the closest in
relation.
Right, in growing up relationship, because he, I mean, that was one thing which I had sort of asked. Mike and Millicent actually went and stayed with Daddy during a certain time, but Darwin and I never did. As you kind of look through and try to determine what in history has any impact in relations to what you think about. I used to always wonder about that, of course. But what that does is that sort of creates this seal of closeness between the two who are remaining to play together.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, we still to this very day. I mean, I like playing golf with Darwin better than I like playing golf with anybody. I mean, we have very competitive fun. We used to play all types of games together, but we played dominoes, backgammon, of course. As you well know, I generally prevailed in games, and I'll have to go down in history as the gamesman of the family. I mean, I know that you're trying to press the ring, but it has become difficult for you to achieve. To this point, you failed. But since and the deal is, you see, age takes people to a pinnacle, and then they are on their way down. I'm not quite on my way down, but if you don't begin to prevail soon, then you'll get the benefit of Alzheimer's and other diseases that sort of redirect the thinking of old people. So you might then prevail. You need to understand what you've benefited from.
Oh, okay. Appreciate that.
Okay, let me. Have you got two long poles? Put the electricity out.
Just to say that's in my heart, so I'm beside. Weeping on the willow tree, weep and simple. Oh, just let you.
Get your butt!
No, no.